What's up, everybody? It's your boy Showtime Doctor. So I'm gonna go ahead, put in my top 10 tips for newer players. Right now I'm just stretching the intermediate part of the game, so first tip's pretty easy. So all we gotta do, go to the shop here, gift set. There's actually a little loot you can get every day. Oh, my bad, I'm all looking for it. There you go, so under daily gift set, you see this is free. These are purple summon soul stones. 60 of them will allow you to summon a purple character, and then 20 free crystals right off the bat. Pretty simple, right? So then our second tip is going to be when you're starting the game and as you're building up your characters, and this is one I actually didn't follow at the time, try to focus up one hero at a time. Now, you see what I'm doing here. I got these two heroes worked up. This is the only hero currently I can get over level 100 because I don't have enough clones for these other heroes. So I'm slowly building some heroes to level 98, but the reason I say focus one hero at one time, though, is because when you first start the game, there's going to be a lot of characters that are effective right now, but are not necessarily going to be effective once you get to level 60 and then level 160, which will take some time. I'm still working on it, clearly. But real quick, off the top of my head, characters that are good early game. This guy's decent right here. Chimera, she's not so good early game, but she gets really good right around level 61. You can actually run her as a tank. This character right here is Savias. I believe early he's not that good. Oh wait, no, I'm wrong. Early and mid game he's good, but late he's not that good because he actually has a level cap, unfortunately for him. Nomura's pretty much good all game. Lycan's pretty good all game, and etc. So just try to focus up when you see what your most effective heroes are. Go ahead and focus one up until you get them to, level, if you can swing at 61 at that point. If not, then get them to 41, because those are synchronous to the skill levels. So as you're leveling up, it's going to say unlock at 41, unlock at 21, unlock at 61. So just make sure you're paying attention to what skills you'd really like to get. And that's a good tip for that. So number 3, and this one's actually something I wish I knew earlier. PvP, if your schedule lines up, try to PvP with a few hours left before the reset. Now, the reason for this is because you have a limited amount of PvP challenges a day. You see, I've already gone through mine. Just make sure that... Well, okay, so my ranking here, not that high. Whatever, I'm still pretty low, but... let's say I PvP and I can get up to like rank 400, 300. I've even been at rank 200 a couple times, although that was mostly early game. Well, you're going to run out because there's a finite number of PvP chances, for the most part, if you're doing free-to-play stuff. And that just gives the opportunity of when a team that's higher than you sees, oh, this guy's rank 204, I can just squash him. So give yourself a chance to get higher in the ranks, because the higher in the ranks you are towards the end of the day, when it resets, you're going to get more crystals. So there's a tip for you. Now, another tip here. Let's go ahead and go to the store. You can buy this dust, which is used to basically limit break your heroes so that they can get higher. Like, when you reach the level 20, level 21 is going to be, it's going to cost some of this along with the typical experience and gold. So, in general, you should be trying to purchase some of this. Maybe not every day right when you start, because it is pretty expensive. But in general, try to get in the habit once you have a ton of gold and you can do a ton of, like if you go to your inventory and you have like a bunch of these little 2-hour things to acquire tons of gold. Just go ahead, go through it, because right now it's just sitting in my inventory, and I should actually be using that more. But, get some dust, and then you'll never be wanting for dust early game. So that did happen to me a few times. Now, also, another thing to know about the store, you're gonna see this crystal gear, like, wow, this is legendary gear, I could totally buy it. Never use crystals to purchase any gear. There is some gear down here that is gold purchase, which, personally I'm waiting until more of the gear is legendary before I purchase it myself. But, look at this, and then make sure you're going through, once you get a guild, make sure you go through the guild store, see if there's anything you really like. The barracks, so you get this currency running some of the side dungeons, and same thing with the labyrinth store. So just look and see. Chimera is actually where this is actually where I purchased Chimera over here. So, alright, and then another thing is, when you make friends in this game, in order to make friends, if you don't have people that you're playing with, or like guildies or whatever, you're gonna have to roll over to the English chat and the global chat, and you can just say add me. And what you're looking for are friends that have orange characters if you're lucky. Legendary tier characters. I don't currently have one. You see my highest is purple 1. But legendary tier characters will unlock when you come over here to the library once you unlock it. You're going to be able to set up heroes here, and the higher tier that they are, you see this legendary at the bottom, the more of these passive stat bonuses that you're going to unlock for the heroes that are in the various categories here. So in this case, I've got 2 elite pluses, so that's going to give me attack plus 150, plus 5% attack, along with HP 1% at the first tier, and HP plus 1200. And everyone, this whole thing kind of gets that, so just be looking for that. When you get a friend that has some legendary heroes, you know, treat them like gold, hang on to them. And then also, too, you are going to have to make yourself desirable and valuable, so make sure you come over here to my mercenaries and put your best mercenaries up, no matter what you got, so that people can get them, and then they can choose to bolster their own teams with your units. And if you have some harder to get units, that's going to carry more weight, most of all, and especially if you get any legendary units as you tier them up. So now, also, as you acquire heroes in this game through summoning and various means, make sure you're going to Portraits. At Portraits, there is going to be a Story tab right here. So when you come here, it won't have it right now because I've done it, but it'll have 100 crystals you can acquire. Make sure you just pop in those 100 crystals. It's going to help you summon. Going to help you get stronger early game. Now, my next tip is God bless RNG. So God bless RNG, what that means is, you might go to campaign, or you might go do something in, say, King's Tower, what have you, where you will get just totally stomped. And it'll look like you have absolutely no chance of, you know, basically completing whatever the campaign mission is, vice versa. But make sure that you are trying to, you know, like for instance, I'll take this one. This is the one I'm currently stuck on right now. So, normally a team I would run very heavy CC, so these 3 in the back. Nomura's a great healer, these 2 are heavy CC, a little bit of burst damage. She does, well, basically 2 forms of CC, and then I got my 2 tanks in the front. But then, so, well, maybe I don't need another CC, maybe I need a DPS like Savvy, or maybe I need someone that'll lock down the back row. Like this unit, it'll lock down the back row for the first 8 seconds. Maybe I need someone that hops around, like, I always forget her name, Ladora or whatever her name is. Maybe I need a unit that, you know, lowers armor so that I can get units down faster and then proceed to the back line. And then also make sure if your tank's getting stomped on the top row, well, hey, maybe you need to just move them to the bottom row. And there's even little advanced techniques you can do, such as this character, whenever she gets hit, she warps every 6 seconds, either behind an ally or behind a friend. So what you could potentially do, put her right there, and then make it so that your tank is going to come up behind her, and she's going to warp off, just to take that initial damage. And then you can go ahead and just put your tank, actually this guy would be a better example. Put your tank, he'll run up to the front and then start taking some damage. She'll randomly warp across the place, and who knows what'll happen. Or maybe you need someone like Fox, who's going to dispel debuffs and buffs. And you can play around with where they're going to be, try to lock down a particular character, and then just see what happens. Because sometimes with enough dodges, with enough crit strikes, a very well-timed skill, you might be able to overcome something that seems impossible. So, God bless RNG. So, my next tip is going to be for guild bosses. There's a mode here, you're going to go into the guild hall called Team Hunting. And there's various bosses, some of them need to be unlocked, but there's various bosses. Well, this guy in particular right here, and I believe it also is the case for this other guy, you don't want to bring CC for this guy, because he's basically immune to everything that's CC. He might take debuffs as far as like defense down and that type of thing, but he's immune to all CC, so if you're bringing someone like, well, not Namora, because she can heal. Early game, you probably do need a little healer. Late game, it says pure DPS, because you're just trying to DPS this guy to get the most rewards possible. But in general, you want people that just do straight damage, so like, Lysi, or excuse me, Navi's Sleep is not going to work on this guy. Roots is not going to work on this guy. Banish isn't going to work on this guy, and if it did, you'd be silly to put it on him, because then you can't do any damage to him. So you're going to have to use some pure DPS heroes, maybe one support hero, maybe a tank, you know, early game, just to keep your units up for a little bit while longer, and he's eventually going to berserk, or the timer's going to run out, either or. But make sure you're bringing DPS units for these guys. Try not to bring crowd control, because it really makes no sense. Get as many rewards as you can out of them. So, and then my final tip, and something that a lot of people miss, faction bonuses matter. So what do I mean by faction bonuses? So, let me show you here. So, you see this thing up top here? It is basically telling you... It's basically telling you that you get a certain buff depending on how many units of the same faction are in the group. So, and down here you can see you can get all the way to 25% and 25% HP and... Oh, excuse me, I totally tipped that off here. HP and attack percentage. So, and there's also some little bonuses down here. So you see Celestial Heroes can be viewed as a Greyborn, Lightbearer, Wilder, or Mauler hero. So Celestial Heroes can basically be any hero you want. So that's good in this case, because this is actually a Celestial hero right here. So you see when I take her out, my faction bonus goes away. Put her back in. I got the basic faction bonus back. So, just keep that in mind. Hold on, let me read that last part for you. Hypogean heroes will not activate any other faction's bonuses, but will give allied heroes the following effects based on the amount of hypergens currently in the formation. And there you go, so these are solo bonuses. So one will give you defense 30%, yada yada yada. So make sure you're taking that into account. And Celestial and Hypergen heroes, usually unlock those about mid-game, so if you don't got them early, don't worry too much about it. And then one last thing to note is there are faction damage bonuses. So I'll read them off to you. So Wilder, which is this type of hero right here, with this, you can kind of see the little emerald thing going on here. They do more damage to Graveborn, which is this hero right here. Graveborn deals more damage to Lightbearers. Lightbearer is this right here. And then Lightbearers deal more damage to Maulers. Maulers right here. So you can kind of do that, and I'm not sure exactly how much percentage damage it is, but I believe it's somewhere around the range of 30%. I don't know, it could be a little more, but... And there's also relics in the game for certain modes that boost factorial or faction damage bonuses, so keep that in mind. And... Oh, it's 25%, I just remembered now, 25%. So, you know, but even though this is very important as far as not just the faction damage bonus, but the total bonus. But just because you put up 5 heroes doesn't necessarily mean they're going to synergize correctly. So in this case, I basically have no tank. So what would I do for that? I would have to, like, kick out... We'll kick you out. He's a decent early game tank right here. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got for tanks for that faction, unfortunately. So, I mean, you might be able to get away with it early game, but mid-game and late game, it's basically a non-starter to run 5 heroes without at least having 2 tanks. For the most part, there are little things you can do here and there. But, and then... I'll show you a similar situation. So my Lightbearer heroes, you know, I got... I'm trying to think of someone I could run as a faction bonus. I mean, I guess I could do the Celestial hero. She's just going to jump to the back and start beating her up. So then in that case, what I could do is, I could run this hero back here, and say I get some DPS in the back.
It's hunting time.
And then this guy's going to run up to the front. She's going to warp to the back and take a lot of attention, probably from these two. At least 2 of them. And then he's going to run to the front. Probably start beating up on either her or him. And then, like I said earlier, I could put Navi in, and Navi, the first instant she gets hit, she's gonna go warp to somebody. Might warp back here and distract the guys back here, while this unit's back here distracting. So there's all types of little reward things, or sorry, strategic things you can do. And that's pretty much my tips, guys. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully, Oh, actually, one last thing about the faction bonuses. Try to focus on 2 factions at the beginning of the game. So, as you're raising heroes, try to get to that 10% bonus ASAP. It's going to make a big difference. And if you can eventually swing it, get that 15 and that 25. But like I said, you got to keep in mind, you know, you're going to have a tank. You got to have some solid DPS, have some CCs really good. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for this video, guys. So hopefully this helps you out. If you're a new player, let me know how your progress is going. I know a little bit about the game, so I could help you out a little bit. We definitely got some experts. I watch these videos. I could solicit their advice as well. So, alright guys, so that's going to be it for me. So yo, if this is your first time watching this video, or watching me in general, yo, I'm Showtime Doctor, Showtime DR. You found my YouTube. Hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. Also, check out, there's a link to my Discord, link to my Twitch, and that's pretty much it. So, I'll catch you guys later on. Keep pushing, keep farming, get stronger. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.